Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another episode of Microsoft Flight Simulator News and Updates. We have some great information on the 777 and whether or not it's coming to the Microsoft Flight Simulator world soon or not. Cox Spur releases the PH100. Parallel 42 releases a new tool that may help you fight some of those crash to desktops and bad add-on compatibility, and quite a bit more in today's information, so stick around. If you are interested in acquiring any of my Overkills tutorial guides from Microsoft Flight Simulator, or simply interested in supporting the channel, please consider joining us on Patreon. Patreon subscribers level tier 2 and above have access to all of my guides, as well as any future releases that come down the road. Patreon link can be found in the description below. All right, guys, so first up, let's talk about PMDG. We have some information on the 777 as well as the 737 for Xbox. But first, we're going to talk about what Robert Randazzo from PMDG is calling the flagship in their lineup, and that is none other than the 777. The 777 has entered beta version 5. Over 360 bugs were identified, and over 260 of them have already been resolved. They say that the production and, progress of the 777 is moving along very, very nicely. Robert Randazzo was hoping to show off the cockpit of this newly created absolute work of art of an aircraft. I cannot wait. If you guys can't tell, the 777's a badass. I can't wait to see the 777. But anyways, they were hoping to show off pictures of the cockpit, but the developer of the cockpit asked to hold off just a little bit longer for some further polishing. You know, they got some fingerprints on there, some dust that needs to be wiped off, and then hopefully we'll see some pictures of the flight deck in this coming week. So cross your fingers for that and stay tuned to the channel because I'll definitely be showing those off. In regard to the 737 for the Xbox, they have submitted a new build over to Asobo for final testing, and hopefully that will bring the Xbox version of the PMDG 737 in line with the PC version, getting it to you guys' hands for those of you who are on the Xbox and getting it up to the same level of quality and performance that you also find in the PC version. Both of these aircraft have been an absolute wonderful thing to talk about and read about as they have developed through their time. The 737 has certainly come a long way, and I cannot wait to see what PMDG brings with the 777. The 777, they had, I believe it was an X-Plane or P3D? X-Plane, right? No, maybe it's P3D. I don't know. P3D, I think it was. But it was a ton of fun to fly. I'm so super excited for this one, you guys, which is funny to say because I believe the 777, correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe it is a glass cockpit as well. And I've been sort of hemming and hawing over the glass cockpits. But there's a difference between flying the glass cockpits with the commercial airliners than with the general aviation aircraft. With the GA aircraft, I'm sort of over it with the glass cockpits. And don't get me wrong, it's the way of the future. It's where we're at, you know, and I get it. Technology stays. Look at the F-22 Raptor. Look at the F-35, you know, incredibly advanced, incredibly capable aircraft, all glass cockpit, all touchscreen, right? So it's not that I don't understand. It's just there is something about the old nostalgia from the analog steam gauges and things like that I miss. But yet when it comes to the commercial aircraft, I think it's just because there's so much more to monitor, I actually don't mind it. So I'm super excited about the 777. Let me know what you guys think, and if you're going to be picking that bird up when she comes available. Cox Spur releases their latest aircraft, and that is the PH100, another business jet class of aircraft, right up there with the Longitude or a Learjet. There seems to be a lot of private jets coming down the line here, which I'm super excited about. There is something far more enjoyable about flying these type of aircraft than some of the other larger planes. It really depends on the mood you're in and where you're wanting to go with it. But the thing I like about the business jets is you can go super far, you can go super high, you can go super fast, but you can get into those remote areas that you wouldn't normally take something like a 737 or an A320. So this is the trailer video that can be found on YouTube. They released, you guys. It is available on Cox Spur's website for 26.99 euros. They have done an absolutely stunning job. It looks like that they really put a lot of time and effort into the features and functionality of the aircraft. Again, you guys can see the cockpit looks very, very gorgeous. It reminds me of the TBM 930 a little bit. The cockpit does. The flight deck sort of has that TBM 930 feel to it. Obviously, probably rocking the similar avionics suite with the Garmin either 3000 or 5000. I didn't actually see the G5000 controller there, so I imagine something similar to the G3000 or maybe something a little bit different. But you guys know that their previous aircraft have done absolutely wonderful, so be sure to check on the channel a little bit later this week. We will be flying this aircraft. I have picked it up. First, we've got the Learjet coming to the channel this week, guys, so stick around for that. We've got some more flights with the PC-12 and the TBM 850, so stick around. Next up, let's talk about Parallel 42's Sim Installer. The purpose of this particular software is to, if you will, diagnose issues or conflicts that you may have with either the Microsoft Flight Simulator core files or maybe an add-on that is breaking or causing a problem. The application runs as a third-party app outside of the simulator, so it doesn't actually interact with the simulator itself, just more or less scans the files and determines where issues may be in regard to the behavior of your simulator. This is a freeware utility. I actually give them a lot of props for this one. Parallel 42 created this tool to try to help out those who were really struggling with add-ons, especially if you're someone like myself. Guys, I actually just recently completely cleaned out my add-ons folder. I had something like 400 and some odd different add-ons and versions of add-ons and things inside of my add-on folder. Now, I use add-ons linker to control those, but the size of it was absolutely ridiculous. So if you're someone like me and you're constantly bouncing in and out of add-ons, or maybe you've got tons and tons of add-ons that are consistently running, and then all of a sudden after an update, you start running into problems, you're having crashed desktops. The idea behind this tool is to sort of help you figure that out, as well as give you a few other capabilities within sight of it. Parallel 42, again, they really get my tip of the hat for this one because they are giving this to you for free, guys. All you got to do is go to Parallel 42's website, go to their products, and SimInstaller will be there. And again, it is free of charge. You just download it, install it, and run it. If you decide you don't like it, kick it on out of there and no worries. But, you're not out any money. So if you are someone who wants that extra level of eyes on board, if you will, or hands on deck, I think that they've done an absolutely wonderful job with this. I'm going to do my best to showcase this. I do have it installed on my PC here as well. But I'm trying to find a scenario in which that I can demonstrate. I haven't had any problems. Knock on wood. My Sim's actually been running really well. Knock on a lot of wood now that I said that. With my luck, it's going to start crashing every single time I go to load it again. So I'm trying to figure out a way to best demo it for you guys so you can actually see what it does in action. And as soon as I come up with something like that, I will showcase this actually in its own dedicated video. But I did want you guys to be aware of it because, again, that's a really hot tool. That's a really awesome effort from Parallel 42. And again, providing it for free of charge to the community, I think is stellar. Next up, we have Cows, or Creator of Worlds Magic Da42 Ver, version 6, coming to Microsoft Flight Simulator. It has not been released as of yet, guys. This is really awesome trailer video that you guys seeing here. A link to this will be down in the description below. Make sure you check it out because it's got a really cool song to it that I love. It was a total flashback to my time here. But you guys got to see because it really works well with the song. So make sure that you guys actually click on the link down in the description so you guys can check it out. I can't, or I'll get demonetized because it would be a copyright infringement. But this aircraft looks absolutely stunning. So again, that is the Da42 from the Creator of Worlds, or Cows. And it's looking absolutely beautiful. It's going to be a full fidelity, high study level, dare I say, version of the aircraft. So make sure you guys check it out. Cowansim, the famous helicopter developer, has released the version R66 helicopter for Microsoft Flight Simulator. Once again, if you guys have not checked out any of Cowansim's aircraft, they've actually done an amazing job. I believe the first one was the Bell 42. I think it was the Bell 42. And they did beautiful. They did an absolutely stunning job with their aircraft. Now, you guys, we have an R44 that I can't remember the developer's name now, and that actually kind of annoys me because I loved his helicopter. But there's an R44 already in the helicopter. So if you guys want the bigger, better, faster, more powerful, sweet, amazing, I don't know, R66 helicopter, make sure that you guys check out the Cowansim version. They have excellent flight models, excellent behavior. Their soundscapes are very, very well done inside of the aircraft. They really, really made their name known in Microsoft Flight Simulator with their helicopters. And I'm sure that the R66 is going to be something that's going to live right up to the par with the rest of their aircraft. But again, we will be checking this one out on the channel. You can see here that the texturing and modeling that they've done matches with any of their other aircraft. Certainly no time was wasted or no corners were cut in the texturing or modeling of the aircraft. I love all of the detail, the depth, and even right down to the carpet lining. As simple as things like this are, and I'm sure some of these textures are very easy to come across before anyone starts jumping inside the comments saying it's not that hard. I don't know how to do it, so I'm certainly not going to critique someone else's work by saying it's easy. But they certainly took a lot of time to make sure that they got the details right, and that this has been sort of par for the course when it comes to their aircraft. And like I said, any of their other helicopters that they have been absolute, just a ton of fun to fly. They don't require any third-party software, which I think is one of the bigger benefits to them. So it really depends. Like, for example, the Bear, I want to say was it 302? Gosh, I can't remember what their damn other helicopter is. Stand by. Nowhere close. I'm an idiot. The 206 is what I was trying to think of. I had to go to their website and look. The 206 is absolutely awesome. And there's two different developers that do a version of the 206. And it really comes down to the nitty gritty as far as which one's better. I'm not going to get into that right now, but I can tell you guys right now that their price points are always spot on. I believe this aircraft can be found on the Cowansim website for $29.99. And their modeling, like I said, the modeling, sounds, texturing, level of support, patch rate, things like that, they do a really, really amazing job. So if you guys are interested in flying this particular helicopter, make sure that you guys grab it. I promise you won't be disappointed. However, if you guys want to hold off towards the end of the week, we've got a few other aircraft lined up and a few of the flights to do this week. But at the end of the week, probably towards Thursday or Friday, possibly into Saturday, we will be flying the R66 as well. All right, so now a quick channel update, you guys, so stick around. Okay, so let's talk about some things that are happening here on the channel, you guys. So first off, to Patreon subscribers, I know that December was a very quiet month for me. You have to forgive me, guys. It was not a quiet month by any means inside of the family. My father was in and out of the hospital. We had a couple of other family events that happened. I had to leave the city more than once. Things got crazy, and they got crazy very quickly and unexpectedly. So I do apologize for any delay for the Patreon subscribers. However, the SimWorks Studio PC-12 tutorial guide is on its final approach. I have everything just about dialed in, and I've even found a few fixes to some of the things that some people were experiencing in regard to the PC-12, such as the craziness on takeoff. There are ways around it that I have discovered that have made it much, much smoother. And for the time being, that information will be included in the guide. And just like any of my other PDF guides, you guys, there will be a full YouTube video that matches the guide page by page. So if you guys don't want to go that route or support me on the channel via Patreon, the tutorial will be available here on YouTube. Next thing, we are going to be bringing a new series up to the channel. It is going to be why MSFers or general aviation flyers should fly DCS. And no, this is not a sponsored video. I have no relationship with Eagle Dynamics other than I absolutely love their product. I'm not in communication with them. This was not solicited. This is just something that I think is a ton of fun. For those of you who don't know, my channel started with the DCS World. That's actually where it all began, was doing tutorial videos for DCS World, because the learning curve in DCS is... for those of you who may think that learning any of the aircraft in Microsoft Flight Simulator is tough, trust me when I say DCS World is significantly harder. It just has a very, very steep learning curve. There's a lot of things to grasp very, very quickly and a lot of hands-on requirement at a given moment. However, there is a ton of things that I hear people constantly talking about in the comment videos of my channel here in regard to Microsoft Flight Simulator videos that DCS offers. For example, even though inside of Microsoft Flight Simulator we can land on an aircraft carrier, it is nowhere close. And this is not to shoot down any developers, you guys. DCS World was designed for this, so please keep that in mind. But it is nowhere close to a carrier landing inside of DCS World. Microsoft Flight Simulator just doesn't come anywhere close to it. And again, that Microsoft Flight Simulator platform isn't designed for it. It wasn't designed specifically around that. DCS World is. Air-to-air refueling, one of the hardest things you will ever do in aviation. I don't care if you're in simulator or in real life. It is ridiculously hard, and especially one of the cool things about DCS is it has the option to turn on wake turbulence. For those of you who don't know, wake turbulence is the disruption of airflow coming from the tanker in front of you from its wingtips. It can kick you around, kick the aircraft around, knock you off course. It can do all kinds of nasty stuff. And it's one of the things that obviously pilots in the real world have to deal with. To compare the carrier landing, for example, One of the things that Microsoft Flight Simulator doesn't model, or at least if it doesn't model well at all, is the burble. The burble is a wind effect that is caused when the carrier itself has to generate the wind over the air deck or over the flight deck. They try to get it to right around 25, 27 knots for aircraft to be recovered. And when the aircraft carrier itself has to be the one generating, like on a calm, windy day, you get this disruption effect that's caused by the control tower. As the wind passes over it and as you fly past it on the final approach, it sort of kicks the aircraft around. And that's really a pain in the ass when you think about the fact that by the time you feel that, your wheels are probably hitting the deck. Okay, so it's really weird. But anyway, and those are just to name a few. Helicopter transport, troop transport, things like that. There's a ton of non-combat things that you can do inside of DCS World, and I'm going to be showcasing some of that. I'm going to be on occasion bringing in a buddy of mine, maybe a couple buddies of mine, to share in the videos with us so you guys can see some of the cool and exciting things that you can do inside of DCS World. For those of you who don't know, DCS World itself is free to download. You do not buy the software itself, you pay for the aircraft. It does come with a couple of, it comes with a P-51 Mustang trainer, as well as an Su-25T. Now the Su-25T is all keyboard command. You can't interact with the cockpit itself. The P-51 you can, but it has no munitions. It is a trainer version. But from there, the sky is limitless. You buy the third-party sceneries and things like that. So I wanted you guys to have the heads up that we're going to be seeing some more DCS World coming to the channel. We're going to be doing a lot more content in VR now that I feel like I've gotten a pretty decent way to record it these days. And the reason being is VR, in my personal opinion, is the ultimate immersion creator for flight simulation, as long as you have a VR system that can actually is capable of maintaining the performance. That's the kicker, right? So I wanted you guys to be aware of some of the cool things that are coming. We're also going to be looking at things like farming simulator, as well as construction simulator for those who just sort of want to kick back and see a different aspect of simulation. Now, those videos are going to be a little bit farther and few between. The primary focus right now is going to be Microsoft Flight Simulator, of course, as well as DCS World. So hopefully you guys will enjoy the new series, the new things that come down the line here. Again, Patreon subscribers, or anyone who's interested in supporting the channel or checking out any of my current guides, remember, $10 a month and you get access to all the guides. It's not just one. There's my sales pitch once again. As always, guys, I love you all. Thank you for the continued support, and I'll see you in the next one.